If you don't know this song, then good for you. This song started haunting my feed months ago, and it's still ever persistent now. It's so catchy that I only had to listen once to the full song, and it was stuck in my head. But if you do know this song, Anxiety by Doechii, how do you pronounce that? Doechii. Have you ever paid attention to the exact statement that has conquered Reels, Shorts, TikTok, wherever you consume your short content form? It's a line that most people won't find anything wrong with, but it really was incredibly suspicious from the start, as the Rayma arc and the Chosen, but that's for another video. Now, Doechii is a very interesting topic since she's a rising star, and I wanted to do a separate video on her because she did say something about being a Christian. Well, sort of. I'll tackle that in the following video, maybe next week, next week. I'm still not sure. If you're interested in that, be sure to subscribe. For tonight, we'll just dive in a little deeper into the song Anxiety. Somebody's watching me, it's my anxiety. I rebuke those lyrics in my life in Jesus' name. First time I heard that line, I wasn't even listening carefully. It was playing off of my phone speakers. Volume was pretty low. Can't remember which reel it was because honestly, I've heard that song on every kind of video. Workout clips, cooking videos, comedy skits, it's everywhere. But I remember hearing that statement clearly and not doubting a single word I heard. I looked up the lyrics and there it was. I did hear it right. I immediately told my friends about the song because it's easy for a Christian not to see why this one is a red flag. And I know there are songs that are much worse lyrically and it just seems really harmless at first. But when you think deeper about it, it's so blatant. It's so straight in your face. Yet we keep trying to wrap it all in different types of excuses. Like it's just a metaphor. It's not supposed to be literal. The artist is not even religious to intend that. Not religious but spiritual. We often downplay lyrics like this as art. Oh, it's mere personification, but personification of what exactly? A mental health condition? I don't want to delve too deep into mental health in this video because it's such a broad topic and honestly, I know it deserves a much more thought out video or possibly a series. So there's this famous, should I call it concept from Carl Jung, supposedly or possibly repopularized by Jordan Peterson. It's something that my brother likes to remind from time to time. It's people don't have ideas. Ideas have people. So in the secular sense, psychological sense, ideas, especially archetypal ones, can be autonomous forces from the unconscious that can possess us if we're unaware of them. Thoughts, and by extension, beliefs and ideologies aren't always truly ours. They can act on us like independent agents, for lack of a better term. And when we don't examine the deeper forces behind our thinking, ideas use us, not the other way around. If you put this through the lens of Christianity, ideas or words, just like a person, just like an object, a piece of art like statue, a painting, a song, name it, can act like vessels for something residing in a higher dimension. Kind of creepy. And I believe that all negative things, ideas, words like mental health conditions or diseases can be these very vessels. And it can actually become dangerous when we treat these words like people or having people-like behaviors, when we personify them. So personifying anxiety, a real mental negative emotion, or for some is a condition that resulted from the fall and the birth of sin, I think that's dangerous. Which brings us back to the song in question, not just demonic. A demon can be possessing this very line to cast misfortune on all who listen to this song, even much more to those who dig it, like you love it, it's your jam or whatever. This misfortune is being amplified when you sing this song. The official video was uploaded 2 weeks ago, 28 million views. Not sure if we're glimpsing the end of its virality because I was watching shorts earlier today and still stumbled upon it at least twice. I do want to remind that this track didn't take off till years after its production. The original upload of the song was uploaded in 2020. The first thing that stood out to me is the title of this playlist. And it's called Coven Sessions. What is a coven? What does the word coven pertain to? A coven is a group or meeting of witches. You could also like check out the etymology of this word, but that's the very basic meaning of it. Watching Doechii in her interviews, people took note of how she appears to be intelligent and very well spoken, such that she's a very intentional artist. So I highly doubt that using coven here is for pure aesthetics. It was curated and it's signaling something spiritual right off the bat. The second thing that struck me was all the songs listed under Doechii's coven sessions. All videos start with the phrase I am. If you're not familiar with the term I am in the Bible, it was mentioned in Exodus 3. It was spoken to Moses at the burning bush when he was being reluctant on going back to Egypt. Verse 14 says, God said to Moses, I am who I am. This is what you are to say to the Israelites. I am has sent me to you. Now, some argues that this is a weak dynamic translation, but I do so think that it still gives a point across. I don't think I am here is necessarily a name, because the name of God is revealed in the following verse, which is Yahweh. I am here is a self-identifier. It's a self-definition. I am refers to God. There's a common denominator in all of the scholarly explanations. It is in itself a promise of faithful presence. God is not a static experience. He's a God who reveals himself through covenantal action, not abstraction. He has shown it to the Jews time and time again, and it's beautiful. I think it's beautiful. Again, I am is to define God, the supreme being, the creator, not ourselves. It is not supposed to refer to anyone else but him. So in this case, when it seems like you're claiming this identification as your own, it's like you're leveling yourself with God. And who is the originator of that? Another thing to take note of are the symbols on the I am. I won't get to the other symbols today, but just look at the all-seeing eye on the letter I. So here we have an artist, intentional artist at that, repeatedly begins her songs with I am, with all of these symbols. Are you claiming to have inner divine power or identity? We see a lot of I am in New Age spirituality practice and modern witchcraft. In these systems, I am isn't about glorifying the God of the Bible. It's about asserting the divine within oneself. It is more of declaring that you are God. A self-deification, manifestations, affirmations, spell casting, these often begin with I am. You can look it up. Most of the lines start with I am. They are statements designed to like reshape reality through language, claiming authority over energies or the spiritual. All of these is a complete flip or distortion of the biblical meaning intended for I am, as we've just discussed. So the third thing I noticed were the displace in the room. First off, there's a mandala tapestry. What is a mandala? A mandala represents cosmic unity, cycles, sacred geometry, sacred rites, and it's used for meditation, even called a portal. And a portal to what? Enlightenment, they say. But is it really? Then there's over here what looks like a shrine setup, and finally a gold cross. Now y'all could be thinking, oh, finally Christian symbol. In all the middle of this, Doechii has hinted that she's a sort of Christian, but this only amplifies that she's not. This means that she's taking part of syncretism, the mixing of religions. Syncretism in the Bible is blasphemous. Jesus didn't say he's a way, he's not just a prophet, he's not just a human who gained the ultimate enlightenment, who has ascended to be a god. He is God, 100% God, 100% human, hypostatic union. He didn't say he's just a way. He said that he is the way, the truth, the life. And combining Christian imagery with other spiritual or religious systems does not honor him. It contradicts him. It contradicts his teachings. It contradicts the Bible. You can't mix all of these things, because if you start mixing all of these things, then that would mean that Jesus lied. But Jesus never lied. And the last thing that I noticed in this particular still is the posing. I think it kind of resembles like the Dhyana, Yoni, or Samadhi. I don't know how to pronounce any of those. But anyway, it does look like a ritual mudra. A reference to meditation, that her hands are placed over the womb, most likely pointing out to the sacral or root chakras, the so-called, energy centers linked to sexuality, identity, power. And so, to conclude this video, I appreciate how Angela Marie, former witch, puts it. She argues that the song Anxiety is not just a song, but a curse. I've mentioned it earlier, but she explains it so well that I would just rather play her clip. Highly recommend watching her full video if you're you're interested. I'll see you next week.
You agree with, you empower. What you align yourself with, you invite into your life, okay? So when you're singing something like anxiety is watching me, like that's not a catchy trend. It is a declaration. And what's really interesting is that this song actually came out in 2023, but it's resurfaced now. It's like so strategic, okay? The enemy wants you declaring that over yourself because that's a spoken agreement with fear. It's a spoken agreement with torment. It's a spoken agreement with bondage. And you're not resisting anxiety. You're not resisting the spirit of anxiety or fear. You're naming it, like you're claiming it. You're summoning it, okay?